to do the things I dreamed of. And every time I get on stage, you guys have heard me say it 100 times. This is my dream. Being on stage is my dream. I was a competitive public speaker when I was a kid. That's all I wanted to do. And I wanted to be a reporter. That's all I wanted to do. So this, if you have a dream in your heart, hold on to it. This dream goes back to me, little baby Julie, when I was 12, and for my dad, and for my mom. So being here, being in front of you guys is really important to me, and it means the world to me. Right here.
Oh, don't make the ugly baby.
And I'm so tall. So what I'm sharing with you today is not really about my story, so much as it is me pouring into you what has worked for me, okay? And this is really me giving to you. The topic that I'm talking about with you guys today is lead generation. So I don't have a clicker. Oh, this is my clicker. The topic I have is lead generation. Big button. Okay. I thought you were saying something else. The topic I have for you guys today is called the happy method, because I'm very happy, as you guys know. But just to let you all know, I started in marketing in the 80s. I know I'm very young. Rose wasn't even born yet. I started in the 80s. I started my own business in 2002. And I'll tell you, I've seen a lot of businesses come and go. I've worked with business owners. I've worked with brands and entrepreneurs in just about every single field. But here's what I've really seen. Network marketing is the most dependable wealth path that I have ever found. And you all know it, and I know it. Because we've had professionals up here. We've had every walk of life up here. What have they all told you? This is the thing. So, can I get a yeah? A whoop whoop? That's right. So, you don't need a degree for this business. I don't have a degree. You don't need $50,000 to start like a franchise. I didn't have $50,000. You don't need inventory or a social media following for a network marketing business. What do you need? A phone, a business and a company that you can really believe in, and a system that works. And that's what I do. I build systems. You guys have probably seen some of my systems. You've probably seen some of my training or my visual tools. If you've seen the Cancun, if you were in Cancun, you might have seen my 4 pillars of how to make $500 every month. Yes? So now I'm handing you my favorite thing, the happy method. How to recruit without pitching, pushing, or playing small. And I want you guys to know that this came out of, do you guys get those ads on Facebook about attraction marketing?
Yeah.
And it makes you literally insane because you're like, when are they going to tell me what it is? What is it? Well, that was me and Brenda Graham for several years. And finally, I decided to find out what it was, put it in writing and share it with you guys because it was making me insane. The best part about network marketing is that it rewards leadership, not your resume. That's important to me. Okay, we don't have to be the smartest, the fastest, or the most techie. And I hear it all day, every day. I'm not very techie, I'm not very techie. You don't have to be fast or the most followed. You need to be consistent, committed, and coachable. And we haven't heard that word in a long time, but you know what that means. And you have to be committed to sharing it with people who also want to make $500 or $5,000 a month, right? That's what we have to be in our hearts. We have to want to share that with other people. I know we love the product, and I'm not going to be talking about the product. It's just going to be about the business, because for me, what brought me here wasn't the product. What brought me here is that my parents were network marketers, and I love network marketing. And what I have to get out of my way with is talking about health and wellness. It's not easy to talk about health and wellness when you're sick, because people might look at you and say, well, what do you know? I know I'm on what? I'm on a journey, and I'm on a path, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with all my friends and all the people on my social. So when you layer the 4 pillars on top of the happy method, this is going to get you where you want to go. Over here. Okay. Lead generation is not prospecting. I have to be honest, I didn't know this. But raise your hand if you've ever done a social media post and heard nothing but crickets.
Yeah.
Oh my God, me too. I thought I was the only one at this point. Prospecting is when you're reaching out to people who did not ask you to reach out to them. Okay, that's prospecting. Lead generation is when your content, your presence, and your systems are what bring people to you already curious. It's when you are the attraction market. You are the thing. They want you. They want to know more about you. One feels like chasing, but the other one feels like choosing. And this was designed to help you find not just people, but qualified leads. This isn't about more people. It's about attracting the right ones and knowing what to do with them once they arrive. Because it's not going to do us any good if, the front row shows up and we don't know what to do. And Tina told us a lot, and Blake told us we needed systems. But we want to know exactly what to say in our words. So raise your other hand if you've ever presented to someone too soon. Okay, I don't know. How about at the very beginning of a 5-hour flight, you're sitting right next to you? It's a long road trying to maintain eye contact with somebody who does not want your link or your sample, right? And let me tell you something, I have done that. That has been me. But I created this method because I was done playing small. And you just heard Kelly talk about that. I was done playing small. I wanted to know how to be authentic and successful, not one or the other. Because here's the truth. We don't need to hustle harder. And we don't need another product, although we do have new ones. We don't need that. What we really need to be successful is a system that's going to work for us that we can lean into in our authenticity. So, you want to know how to attract people, guide them confidently, and still feel like yourself while you're doing it. So we're going to go ahead and start with H, the first letter in happy, which is to hook with intention. So, to hook with intention is to grab them right out of their scroll. You know what I'm talking about, the death scroll? I've done it. We want to grab them, and how do we hook them? You guys have all seen that, and I've seen a lot of videos. I think Rose and Amber and maybe Celesta can tell you that when you're on TikTok, they tell you to make a move when you come to your video. That's going to stop the scroll. We want to do that, but we want to do it in posts as well. Most people start their posts like they're writing a high school book report. Zero emotion, long introduction, maybe a picture of a smoothie, or maybe one of our candies. But if that's how you're showing up, the only thing you're really generating is silence. You only have 2 seconds. 1, 2 seconds to have them stop, tilt their head, look at it, and feel something right here. And when they do that, and when you start hooking with intention and posting with intention, that's when things start to change. When I started posting with intention and sharing what I stand for, health and wellness, my family, network marketing, entrepreneurship, when I found my niche, and when I posted what I believed, that's when people started showing up. And not just customers, but actual aligned business partners. And I know this is true because I've got a table over there, and I got a table right here, of people who are here because of what I was doing, and I was doing it with intention. It was very different. I didn't have to talk about religion or politics or stuff like that. I just had to speak from my heart, talk about my dogs, talk about my husband, talk about my journey, and things started to change. So, what does a hook with intention look like? Well, these are some hook examples. I wasn't looking for another business, but I knew I couldn't keep settling for the one I had. If you're talking to somebody in network marketing or direct sales, how perfect is that first sentence? That's perfect. No more pitching, no more pretending. I built a business that fits my life and pays me. The last line is my favorite because all I could think of was those 3 young women. What if you could create $500 a month without begging your friends or dancing on camera? Because that's what I did. I didn't dance on camera. I wasn't going to do that. These are real thoughts and real feelings, right? They're real beliefs, and that's what makes people stop because you're not performing anymore. You're telling the truth and you're sharing from here out loud. If you sound like a brochure, they're going to keep scrolling, but if you sound like a person, they'll stop and listen. And this is your moment to undo something that I learned called opening a loop. Have you ever heard that expression? To open a loop? No, me either. I haven't heard of that either. You're opening a loop when it's a moment of curiosity or emotion that their brain needs to close. Like, happy birthday
To you.
That's a loop. It opens the loop and it requires you to mentally, like your brain can't do that, right? So if you're asking, what should I say that. Say the thing that you wish somebody had said to you when you were still pretending that everything was okay. Get them started. Get them thinking. You want engagement? Say something scroll-stopping, hard-hitting, and personal. Do not start with what it is. What it is isn't going to work. Start with how it feels. So how does it feel to use Grow? How does it feel to use the skincare? How does it feel to be in a team and a community like we have here? That's the way to start. And that's what gets you seen, and that's what gets people curious, and that's what opens the loop. And that's how this system is going to work. So, now that you have their attention, you've hooked them. A, attract with value. This is where most of us lose the prospect, honestly. We post something great, a prospect comments, maybe they answer a question that you put out there, and then what do? We disappear. We're off into the mist, right? Or worse, we message them with, hey, want to join my team? Who's ever sent that message, hey, want to join my team? Right, well, I must be the only one. I have done that, and that does not work because that's going to send them into the witness protection program. The next step is what separates the amateurs from the actual leaders, and that's to attract with value. So I used to hear this expression all the time, give them value, give them value. I gotta be truthful. I didn't know what value was, and I certainly didn't know how to give it to them. So this is about showing up like someone worth following, not just somebody who's trying to sell them something or get them into something. People don't follow products. Now, M&Ms and Coca-Cola are different, but people typically don't follow products. They follow people who teach them something or make them feel something or show them what's possible. So for instance, talking about the trip to Greece, it's a possibility, isn't it? Talking about making money from just every day sharing what you do, that's possible. When you share that with someone and say, this is what I'm doing and you can too, imagine how good people would feel. And I'm really talking about the people that you love. How would they feel if they knew you were getting ready for a trip to come to Arizona? One of my favorite posts is always to ask the question, what should I pack? The minute I do that, their brains start to work. What should I pack to go to Arizona? What if I were going there? Why is she going there? Boy, she travels a lot. Those are the questions and the answers I get back, and the comments. So you don't need to be perfect. You need to speak from here and from here, and let people know what you're thinking. These are some examples of some value posts that I really love. Why your energy drops after 2 p.m. and how I fixed mine without caffeine or chaos. How many people ask us if GTS has caffeine in it? All the time, right? Yeah. That's right. Or how much caffeine is in our coffee? 2.3 milligrams, right? Which is significantly less than decaf. But I don't want to start with that. I don't want to start with the milligrams of caffeine. I want to start with how I solved that problem. So when you show up with value, you become the person that they're going to trust. You're going to be the one they're going to sit up and listen to. You're not just somebody trying to get them into something. You're the one giving them the language for the problem that they didn't even know they could solve. And when people learn from you, they remember you. They feel smarter, and then they feel clearer, and they feel more inspired because of you. And when that happens, they follow you. Not just on social media, but in business and in vision. And there is nothing more powerful than going to your inbox and having someone say, what you said today really got me. Or, I have this problem and I don't know who to turn to. And I know you guys have had that question, but it really means something, so you want to keep that going. And this is not pressure and not hype. You're actually talking to people and building a relationship. It's the authenticity, truth, and leadership that's going to make all of the difference. So, moving a little slower than I thought, but I want you to look at the next slide, which is to personalize the connection, because conversations convert and relationships enroll. What we want to do is we want to remember not to flood somebody's inbox with what the metabolic reset can do for them, because everybody knows we can send them a bunch of testimonials. What will work really, really good is not to invite them to buy, but to invite them to talk. So, I bet you've all done this, but raise your hand if someone's asked you a question and you messaged them back and said, you know, I could tell you and I could send you a text, but how about if we jump on a Zoom and just chat for 10 minutes? You guys all done that? Awesome. And I noticed the front of the room is all putting their hands up. So guys back there, the next time somebody asks you a question, resist the urge to answer it. Say, I could tell you by sending you messages, but how about if we jump on a Zoom call? Or I just call you and we just chat. Because real connections do not happen in the comments. They have to hear your voice and your tone and your energy and know how much you care about them. They've already been burned. We've already had no connections and all that good stuff, right? This is a time when you can build a relationship, and that's what I want you to get to do. Okay. Present a clear next step. Now, this was always tricky for me. I always found this kind of I'm not really sure. This is where you're actually leading someone. So, when they show interest, when they answer a question or ask a question, you're going to invite them through curiosity. That's the soft CTAs. But if they're asking you, what do you do? If they've commented 3 or 4 times, if they've asked you a question, start to lead them with confident CTAs. This is vastly different than anything that I had ever learned before. So I thought this was really, really good. I will share all of these slides with you. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. Keep going. Okay, a strong call to action doesn't feel salesy, it feels like leadership. So the question there, if it feels aligned, let's go. Meaning, if you ask them, what more information can I get for you, as Tina always says, and they say, I think I'm good, that's when you say, great, let's see how we can get you started. In fact, have a little video ready of welcoming them to the team. That always works. Now, happy ends with the why. That's yielding with systems. But I'm not talking about tech. I'm not talking about planning in advance what you're going to do to save your energy. And this is the happy method right here. Hook with intention. You have 1 or 2 seconds. The system to use here is to have a content calendar and a notes app. Your content calendar is your list of times and dates that you want to post things, and a notes app to remind yourself to do it and what you're going to post, so you can recycle the content. And remember your opening loops. Happy birthday to you. That's right. Okay, the A, attract with value. You want to have some really great teaching material. If you can't think of that, get back with me. I've got tons of it. Because when you teach, when you teach, you're leading them. And when you're leading them, they're coming back to you, you're attracting them back to you. Personalize the connection, share your phone number. We tried to use social media as a way to replace our sales, and we really want to use it as a way to enhance them by conversations. Present a clear next step. Lead with confidence. They need to know what to do. Leadership. That's what comes next. And then, of course, why? Yield with systems. And I'm going to give you my final thought. Your audience is watching you. Your people are waiting for you. And your next teammate is one clear post and one honest conversation and one good system away. So let's build something happy together.